Okay, so hello guys. Today I will be discussing chapter 2, Sociology of Tourism. So I'm not sure if nasimulan na natin siya last time, pero uulitin ko na lang. Okay, so I have to record some chapters kasi just to make sure na wala tayong maiwan na lessons bago mag midterm exam. So, ayoko naman na sa midterm exam, bigyan ko kayo ng PowerPoint and then hindi ko naman na-discuss. Okay? So, re-record na lang natin. Alright, so let's move on. Okay, so the social nature of travel. So, travel is brought about by the social nature of man. Human beings, as social animals, feel comfortable in a tour group. In some subcultures, travel is the accepted way of spending one's vacation. According to Pope John Paul II, the world is becoming a global village in which people from different continents are made to feel like next-door neighbors. In facilitating more authentic and social relationships between individuals, tourism can help overcome many real prejudices and foster new bonds of fraternity. Okay, so for some people, they prefer to travel in a tour group or within the group kasi they feel na mas enjoy sila and then they feel happy and get free from anxiety when they join a group tour. At the same time, friendship is being developed in a tour group. So, ang tourist kasi, when they join a group tour, so there's a chance na makakilala. Okay? There's a chance that they can meet other people and they will learn other cultures. Okay, so sabi ni Pope John Paul II, so nabanggit niya na the world is becoming a global village. Okay, when you say global village, a simple explanation of it is, for example, in Dubai, there is a tourist attraction there, which is called a global village. When you go inside the global village, dun sa area na yon, you will feel the different vibes from different country. So, merong isang area sa global village doon na, for example, Philippines. Okay? So, merong parang small, parang building, Filipino building, for example, na inside that building, marami kang Pilipino na nakikita na nagtitinda, for example, ng mga tiangge. O kaya naman, merong isang area din sa Global Village kasi different countries, ilang countries kasi yung makikita mo inside the Global Village. I believe meron din na sa Pilipinas yan eh. Oh, here in Cavite, if you've been to Torres Farm, I think it's in Naik. It's like a global village when you go there. So, pero merong pang China, meron nga silang ano doon eh, um, yung ano, yung tinatawag na ano, Great Wall of China. So, yun, meron din sa Torres Farm. Um, merong house in Europe, parang ganun eh. Tapos, merong Eiffel Tower ng Paris, so meron din. So, yun yung parang sinasabi ni Pope John Paul II na the world is becoming a global village. So, when it means na, kumbaga yung mundo, because of travel or a tour group, nagmi-mix yung different nationality. For example, wherein nagmi-meet yung different kinds of people or people from different places, from different countries, or from different continents. And somehow, of course, they will be able to develop relationships with each other or among individuals, and they will be able to know the culture of other people or of other country. Okay, so next would be the social effects of tourism. So tourism involves the movement and interaction between people in various geographical locations, encompassing sociological aspects such as first is social relations between people who would not normally meet. Okay, so in tourism, this actually refers to meeting some strangers. So in tourism, a tourist has an ability or has an opportunity to meet some strangers. Number two is the confrontation of different cultures, ethnic groups, lifestyles, languages, levels of prosperity, and the like. So yun nga, sabi natin kanina, in tourism, you will be able to know different cultures, yung mga katutubo, okay, sa lugar na yon. You will know how the people live there, the native people or the local people live there, their languages, alright, and also kung okay ba yung buhay sa kanila. Number three, the behavior of people released from many of the social economic constraints of everyday life. So in tourism, you will be able to know how the people in a place behave, how do these people adapt socially, and how do they also adapt, or what is actually their attitude when it comes to some, for example, economic constraints or economic challenges within their places. And number four, the behavior of the host population, which has to reconcile economic gain and benefits with the cost of living with strangers. So, in tourism also, malalaman mo yung behavior ng host population, or when you say host population, yun yung mga tao sa mga local people kung saan ikaw ay or ang tourist ay na to travel. So you will know their behavior on how they have been affected well, or how do they gain, or how do they get the benefits, or what are actually their benefits from tourism. Okay? Somehow, there are some countries na hindi nagiging okay yung life nila, even though there is large number of tourists visiting their country. Okay? Kasi the tendency is nagmamahal yung kanilang cost of living. Okay? Kasi syempre, mga turista na yung halos nakatira sa country nila, like in Netherlands. So, naging problem kasi yan sa Netherlands. Sobrang daming tourist. So, yung mga local people, they were not, most of them, they're not really happy with that. Kasi, nagmamahal yung mga bilihan sa kanila, cost of living, even the apartments, mahal na rin. Okay? Kasi syempre, most of the apartments doon, mga tourist na yung nakatira or nagbubook. The degree which conflict between host and guest depends on living standards, number of tourists, and tourist adaptation to local norms. Okay, next. So, the socioeconomic variables and their effect on travel. So, first is age. Younger people tend to select more active recreational activities than older people. Kasi syempre, yung younger people, so medyo, pa yan energetic pa sila. So, more active sila kaysa sa older people. So, mas gusto nila yung more recreational activities that require more movements, more exploration. Whereas, yung elderly naman, for example, yung mga late 60s and upward, so they are more passive. Okay, so they like passive forms of recreation. So when you say passive, those activities don't require a lot of movements. Okay, so not really active. Kaya nga passive eh. Diba? Okay. So like for example, visiting friends and relatives, fishing, sightseeing, and playing golf. Okay. Ang mga gusto nila usually yung mga cruise travel or ship travel, and they usually travel more in spring season than younger tourists do. Okay. And then yung mga middle-aged tourists naman, they actually okay, sorry, yung mga older tourists, hindi sila gaano nag-i-spend. Okay? But actually, mas nag-i-spend sila kaysa sa mga younger tourists. Kumbaga, galante sila when it comes to spending sa kanilang vacation. Pero hindi sila nag-spend it ng sobra in a sense na they think more bago sila mag-spend kung worth it ba yung pagkakagastusan nila. Okay, letter B is income and social status. Rich persons as well as persons with higher social status travel more than those with lower income and social class status. Okay, so syempre for rich people, most of them they have higher income, so they travel more. Diba? And then they even stay longer and spend more day in a certain destination than for people who are not really rich or not belong in a higher social status or society. Education, the better educated members of the population have a greater desire to travel. So there's a relationship between education and travel. So it has been said na educated people or educated members of the organization or of the population, they have a greater desire to travel. Sila talaga yung mga gustong mag-travel because they know and they believe that they will learn something from traveling. Okay? And aside from that, they usually prefer activities na they can show their skills. For example, they can show their skills like attending plays, concerts, art museums, reading books, playing golf, and skiing. Okay, so yun yung sa education. Alright, so next naman is life stages of the family. So the presence of children in the family limits travel. So for example, if the family has small children or little children, it limits their time for travel. Kasi most of them, they just want to stay at home. Kasi syempre, pag medyo maliit pa yung anak nila, so it's not easy to travel naman. And then, once na nag-grown up na yung mga children, so yung mga married couples naman, dun pa lang sila halos talaga nag-travel. They spend time with each other kasi it's now easier to manage the children. Okay, so the rise of new travel patterns. So we have the travel clubs. Okay, so example nito is Okay, so where I work also in Dubai, I used to work in a hotel called the Address Montgomery, Dubai. It has a golf course actually. So, um, for the tourists, they can pay for such amount of money to be part of the club, okay, ng golf club dyan sa hotel. So, when they become a club member, so they enjoy a lot of opportunities, discounts in the restaurants inside the hotel, even discounts in the hotel accommodation. So, yun, marami silang discounts, marami silang previous. And then, of course, cheaper price yung payment nila when they play golf. So, yun yung mga travel clubs. Airline groups and arrangement, usually, actually, meron tayong tinatawag na mga charter service. Charter service is given by some airlines to group tours, which are intended for those affiliated to a legitimate group for a period of 6 months or longer. Meron din tayong public charter, wherein yung the entire airplane available siya for a group of person who travel to the same destination. I guess example ng public charter is, if I'm not mistaken, that airline that brings people to El Nido, wherein yung plane na yon, yung airline na yon is puro mga tourists lang going to El Nido yung sumasakay. Okay, yung pinagsiserban nila. Here also in airline groups and arrangement, there are some incentive tours which are given by firms to employees as a reward for special achievement or as a motivation for achievement. And then the last one is special interest tours. It is becoming more popular at present. So these are actually tours arranged for those who are interested in a particular activity. So, special interest tour is for a group of people na, for example, ang gusto nilang activity ay bird watching. So, yung tour na yon for those people who enjoy that kind of activity. O kaya naman for a group of people who would like to see watch of festivals or fishing, hunting, photography, golf, skiing, mountain climbing, and so on. Okay, so preferences of the international tourist. So there are 4 preferences in the international tourist. A is relaxation versus activity. So before, the work week for most people, including the middle class, was long and exhausting. At present, the work week has been shortened and the annual holiday leave has been lengthened. For example, in the US, sa healthcare industry, sa hospital, for example. So most of the staff there, especially the nurses, they usually just work for 3 days. 3 days, 12 hours each day. Okay, so like 36 hours a week only for 3 days. So, dati kasi hindi ganon. So, ngayon is, ganun na yung ginawa. So, people or the staff have more time to enjoy, for example, the weekend. Okay, they can travel kasi mahaba yung kanilang parang day off. Okay. I believe in the Philippines, some companies also, there is parang policy na, or there are some companies in the Philippines na the staff should work only for 4 days something like that. 12 hours a day, so a total of 48 hours a week. So the staff can have 3 days off to enjoy. Familiarity versus novelty. Most tourists on their first trip abroad tend to seek familiarity rather than novelty. At present, there is an increasing positive attitude toward novelty in change. When you say familiarity, so usually the tourists, when they travel, they search for something that will remind them of their home. Okay, yun yung familiarity. Yung gusto nila, the place where they are going to seems like home, or they will feel like it's their home. Either yung pagkain, food, yung mga rooms, kumbaga mafe-feel nila na uh, para lang silang nasa bahay nila, and then of course because of that they would go back again and again to that place. Pero sa ngayon naman at present, so medyo novelty na. When you say novelty, the people are more flexible na. They accept innovations, any changes about industry, education, family life, art, social relationships. So tourists now move away from the traditional resorts, for example, to new tourist destinations. So, kumbaga parang ang mga tourists now, they would like to explore more. They are looking forward to another different experience. Okay, so ganun na yung gusto ngayon. Yun yung novelty. Dependence versus autonomy. In the past, tourists joined package tours. At present, there is the emergence of a group of tourists who would like to acquire a sense of personal autonomy. Before, common yung the tourist will pay in advance sa tour agency, and then the tour agency will be the one to arrange the tour package for them. Ang problem lang sa ganong sistema is, for example, yung travel namin before sa Hong Kong, under kami ng travel agency. So, kasama namin yung iba't ibang nationality na nagbayad din sa same agency. So, may call time, for example, 7 a.m., kailangan na umalis because we have to visit a place. So, kailangan ready ka na, and then nakasakay na kami ng bus. So, kung maiwan ka, hindi ka na makakasama. At the same time, when we visit a place, usually you just have to spend like 10 to 15 minutes only to that place. So, what happened was, we have to take photos as much as we can. Kasi may iwan ulit kami ng bus kasi pupunta ulit sa isang lugar. So, yun yung problem sa ganon, sa mga tour agency. Pero ngayon, iba na. I mean, there are some people na who would like to travel on their own and not part of a group. So, na-experience ko na rin yan. Pag nagbo-book kami, when we travel, hindi na kami nagta-travel agency. Meron ng autonomy. So, kumbaga ako na lang gagawa ng, I will be the one who will do my itinerary or our itinerary. For example, on the first day, saan kami pupunta, where are we going to eat, what time are we leaving, the hotel, ganon. So, yun yung sa autonomy. Order versus disorders. In the past, tourists sought holidays which enforced the traditional concept of conformity. They avoided situations where their adult-imposed sense of orderliness might be offended. Now, the new generation of tourists is not very much concerned about what to wear or how to behave when in holiday. So, order, when you say order, so kumbaga, before kasi ang tourist, ang ano nila is traditional concept of vacation. kumbaga, fix. For example, yung oras, set meals at fixed time, nagfa-follow sila ng mga, they usually follow a guidebook, anong nakalagay sa guidebook, yun yung mga lugar na pupuntahan nila. And then, usually, when they visit a resort, kailangan the fellow tourists were tidy, behave sila, properly dressed, ganyan. Kumbaga, before yung tourist talaga is gusto nila, they would visit a place in an orderly manner. Pero ngayon, the new generation of tourists, hindi na sila concerned sa mga ganong bagay. Kumbaga, come what may sila. Okay? They just want to have freedom when they travel. Kumbaga, iba na yung nila, iba na yung mga gusto nila, and they're actually more on taking pictures, mga Instagrammable pictures, ganyan. And actually, medyo hindi ako dito nakalagay kasi not very concerned about what to wear. The new generation now are actually concerned what to wear, 'di ba? Kasi few days before sila or a couple of days before mag-travel, talagang iniisip nila kung ano yung OOTD, 'di ba? Kung ano yung attire on that day. So, nakaplano na yan. So, kaya medyo hindi ako ganong convinced dito sa na yung generation ngayon is not concerned about what to wear kasi talagang concerned sila kung anong isusuot nila. Okay. Alright, so now let's go to the types of tourist role. First is the organized mass tourist. So, sila yung mga list adventurous. So, they will just buy for example, a tour package na ready na, meron ng itinerary, prepared and guided. They usually don't make decisions for themselves. So, ang gusto nila also is a familiar environment rather than a new environment. The individual mass tourism naman, it is a type of mass tourism where a person individually organizes their tour, vacation, or holiday. Ito naman, individual mass tourist has a control over his time and itinerary and doesn't depend on the itinerary of a group. Although some of the arrangements are also made through a travel agency, pero kumbaga, it is the tourist choice pa rin kung ano yung gusto niya na mangyari sa travel niya. The explorer arranges his trip by himself and looks for comfortable accommodations and reliable means of transportation. Ito naman, yung mga explorer, okay, meron kasing mga tourists na when they travel, na-adapt nila yung behavior, for example, or culture from the host country. Okay, so for example, this kind of tourist usually stays longer. Okay, mga less than a year or some couple of months. So, yung explorer is nare-retain pa rin niya yung kanyang own culture and personality and does not adapt to the lifestyle of the host country. The drifter naman, drifters have no fixed itinerary or timetables. Ito, ang difference niya with the explorer, si the drifter kasi, he is trying to adapt to the host culture. So, nakukuha niya yung culture, yung habits, yung behavior ng host country. Yung country where he visit. And then, wala rin siyang fixed itinerary. Kumbaga, come what may na rin yung travel niya. So, hindi novelty yung pinaka-priority niya and not merely familiarity. Okay, social tourism. In the 1930s, European countries passed paid holidays to ensure ordinary workers could afford travel for recreation and rest. Social tourism associations secured reduced fares and established holiday centers for tourists with limited means. The International Bureau of Social Tourism, established in 1963, promotes social tourism globally through over 100 global associations focusing on youth and senior citizen travel, camping, caravanning, building and financing tourist facilities, and preserving local culture and environment. So, just a simple explanation of social tourism. Ang purpose natin dito is to benefit, okay, let's say the poor people or incapable or less fortunate uh, people from the uh, local community. Kumbaga, most of the foreigners, they usually do some volunteering acts or activities sa host country na pinupuntahan nila. For example, if the tourist is a doctor, so he can do a medical mission sa host country. If he's a teacher, so he or she can teach to the children of the host country for some couple of months. If the tourist is a mother, so she can act like a foster parent or foster mother to the orphans of the host country. So yun yung social tourism. Kumbaga, to do some good acts or volunteer activities to the host country. Okay, so that's all for chapter 2. Thank you.